Well, of course, I have to give honor to God. Kim, Albert, to the beautiful Williams family, to Cecil and Jan's extended family, to the Glide family. It's really with a deep sense of gratitude that I remember Reverend Williams today as a personal friend, a spiritual and religious leader, one who taught me what my faith requires me to do, as the book of Micah reminds us to do, and that is to do justice, to love mercy and kindness, and to walk humbly with my God. Now, I met Cecil in the late 60s when, many of you don't know this, but I lived in Geneva Towers. Madam Mayor, good to see you, my sister. I lived at 250 Page Street. I attended Glide regularly, even before I was a student at Mills College. I sat right over there in the third row, probably the third seat in, every Sunday. Reverend Williams helped me through some very challenging personal times. Little did I know that I would have the privilege and the honor to march with him in many of our marches and rallies for peace and justice, at rallies to free Angela, over and over again. I was right there with them, Angela. It was an honor. Little did I know I'd have the privilege to work with him on issues relating to San Francisco and the Bay Area and nationally. I tell you, his radically inclusive, gospel-transformed lives and this great city and the Bay Area. He knew what it meant to see those who were ignored and weren't seen, those who were marginalized. Cecil spoke truth to power, and yet even as a minister and a great preacher, he was a force to be reckoned with politically. When Reverend Williams spoke, elected officials listened. Listen. I remember bringing my presidential candidate, the first African-American woman elected to Congress, Shirley Chisholm. Yes, in 1972. I brought her here to Glide. I was a student, Black Student Union president at Mills then. And I remember the excitement and the love that he exhibited toward her. And Reverend Williams and his beautiful and brilliant wife, Jan, they were, and many people don't know this, but they were like counselors and they were mentors to me, like to so many of you. And so I have the privilege, of course, I'm constantly fighting in Congress, you know, that's for justice and for what's right and for freedom and peace, constantly. But every now and then I have a chance to go to the floor of Congress and place into its historical records, the records of the United States of America, the legacy of great human beings. Every now and then I get to do this, and I was able to go to the floor of Congress and to put the legacy of this great warrior for love and justice into the historical records of the United States of America. It's a privilege and an honor. And I won't read the entire congressional record, but I'll read a couple of paragraphs. Mr. Speaker, should be Ms. Speaker, Madam Speaker, Speaker Emerita, Nancy Pelosi, who I love dearly, who, greatest speaker ever. But now it's Mr. Speaker. I rise today to honor the life and legacy of my dear friend an incomparable moral and spiritual leader of the Bay Area, Rev Cecil Williams, who passed away at the age of 94 on April 22nd, 2024. And I go on and wrote about the highlights of his life in this, but you can't capture his entire life, so you go into the record and you'll see much, much more than what I said. But I concluded by saying, his presence in our community will be deeply missed. May he rest in eternal peace and power, reunited with his beloved wife, Janice. Kim, let me just say, and I'll say finally, as 2 Timothy reminds us, Reverend Williams, he fought the good fight, and he finished his race, but yes, he kept the faith. Thank you, my brothers and sisters. May God bless you.